Greetings from Lemuria. Enlightened ones, special ones, dear ones, crystal ones, indigo ones, Lemurians. We greet thee. We greet thee with the greatest honor and the greatest respect, for we are the essence of Lemuria, that which you call the Lemurian. 12 weeks ago, quite some time ago in fact, we have promised at the beginning of this second part of the Universal Manifest that the last of the cosmic races to come in would be the Lemurians. We have also said that this is the link of all that is cosmic to you. For you see, there is no difference between you, all of you, and us. The Lemurian legacy, the Lemurian race, has always been about the human adventure. And the human adventure is now coming to an end. This means that that which you have called human is over. Humanity and all of its parts is gone. Thank you for that beautiful sound effect. Couldn't be one last channeling without our sweet keeper giving us a special thing, isn't it? So, Lemurians, this is a very special moment for all of us. For there is a blending that is about to happen. A blending that was agreed upon a long, long time ago. A blending that stemmed forth from a separation at first. A separation between that which you call feeling and that which you call emotion. That which you call Akonai and that which you call Akash. Right? And now today, at the ending of the second part of the Universal Manifest, before we go on to the resurfacing series, which will be about healing, new ways of healing, new ways of resurfacing old emotions, old parts of the body that can indeed be brought back to an original state of being. But today, we want to blend our energies together. Actually, you are all the ones, and we are not just talking about the people here in this room, we are talking about everybody on earth. You are all the ones who took on the hardest part of the job, you see. You agreed to carry the energy of Akash. You agreed to carry the energy of emotion. You agreed to go into the darkness so that you could resurface again, which is now happening on a global scale. And that is why for the last 15 years, so many of you on this planet Earth have been going through, well, whatever it is you have been going through. Old crap, as some would say. Mental problems. And the power of letting go. In the last 15 years of your lives, even though some of you may not have been consciously aware of it, you have all been letting go. Letting go of structure. Letting go of patterning. Letting go of discussion. Letting go of anger. Letting go of pain. Letting go of disease. You have all been letting go of all of these things. And this is why in the last 10 to 15 years in some of your lives, things have been so very heavy. Things have been so very hectic. For you see, all that consciousness lets go of, it must experience. And so this life that you have been leading has been about experiencing all of these things, all of these facets really, that you have built up for yourselves in the last few of your lifetimes. And now today, the final letting go can occur. We will not talk about what this might mean. We will not say, now you need to let go of this one last thing, and as such, you will be pure, or you will be healed, or you will be whatever, really. For each and all of you, the last straw of letting go is very unique and very personal. Yesterday when Babaka talked, when he spoke about gravity consciousness, and when he spoke about geometric and magnetic consciousness, you were informed that all of these things and the blending of the three different types of consciousness together as one is indeed a unique event and cannot be pre-described, cannot be put in some kind of procedure, cannot be linked to humanity as a whole. For you are humanity as a whole, enlightened ones. You are. As Babaka has informed you yesterday, there is no difference between you and that cute fake dolphin lying here, or those flowers who are, I hope, not fake. There is no difference. This is not a part of your energy. This is your complete energy. And this is a new way of looking at things. So as you integrate these different types of consciousness, know that you are humanity. You are all that is. And you are responsible for the way your world looks, for the way you experience your world. So many things have been spoken in the past few months, not just by this messenger, but by so many others. And all of them were breadcrumbs on your path, allowing you to find your way back home. It didn't matter which of the breadcrumbs you took. It didn't matter what path you followed, just as long as you were following a path. Albeit, some of you, and we are talking about humanity as a whole again, have made the error in judgment, so to speak, to follow paths that they thought belonged to them. But this wasn't the path of the heart. The path of the heart is always there. You don't need to look in any type of book. You don't need to go online. You don't need to listen to any type of channeling. You don't need to go to church. You don't need to do all of these things. The path has always been there, inside of you. So what were these breadcrumbs all about then? Can you imagine how far outside of yourselves you had gotten in this society? The breadcrumbs weren't about finding yourselves within. The breadcrumbs were never placed within. You had placed your consciousness. You had placed who you really are outside of yourselves. And so, all along, all of these years, you have been looking for yourselves. And you have found yourselves in products. You have found yourselves in sexual encounters that didn't have any true meaning. You have found yourselves in entertainment of all types of sorts. You have found yourselves in jobs. And you have given yourselves importance in these jobs. And always you were placing yourselves outside of you, so that you didn't have to look within. You didn't do this because you are all stupid. Know this. You did this because this was the original plan. It was always planned to be this way. The Akonai is something that is experienced within. The Akash is about memories, about things that you have experienced without. And as such, it was necessary for you all to go without. It was necessary to go without the true feeling that lives inside. And you were on the outside, looking in. But now today on this 8th energy, You have the possibility of finally re-emerging into your own selves. And we, the Lemurian race, the Lemurian essence, the Lemurian legacy, so to speak, are the true core of who you have always been. This is why so many are attracted, are drawn towards this Lemurian energy. And we are not talking about a place, we are not talking about a country, we are not talking about a group of islands called Hawaii or whatever, although this messenger is wearing one of these things as we speak. But we are talking about an energy, the islands that exist inside of you, the Lemurian principles that still exist inside of you. You must know that you have always looked on the outside to see a part of yourselves that you could not comprehend. And this was necessary for you to create a personality. This was necessary for you to create an identity. It was necessary for survival on this planet. For, you see, the reason why we, the Lemurians, have been away for so long, the reason why we haven't spoken in such a long time, the reason why we only have shown ourselves energetically in the past hundreds of years, is because we could not exist in this time-space field. We could not exist within an energy that is always trying to look on the outside. If we were to look at ourselves from the outside, we would see nothing. We would see no body. We would see no light energy. We would see no heart energy. We would just be nothing. We are conscious energy that has been placed outside of what you call time and space, of what you call gravity, geometry, magnetics. You might have wondered, Imzaia, why it is so that you have been working with gravity for so long, have been trying to make your way onto geometry and, as the cherry on the cake, to get to that which you call magnetics. Is this the end of the journey? No, it isn't. Magnetics is about dissolving yourselves. You see? Magnetics is that energy which will dissolve your own energy. And this might come into your hearts in fear. Dissolving your own energy, for what will be left of you? Nothing. Nothing will be left of the body. Nothing will be left of the energy. Nothing will be left of the identity, and nothing will be left of consciousness either. Then what will eventually take place? A new type of existence. A new type of experiencing that which has always been you. Why would you need a form? Why would you need shape around you if you know what you are? Look at the air. The air that you are breathing right now. It knows what it is. And as such, it needs no shape. It needs no form. Take a look at light, Imzaia. If you see the light of the sun traveling to the earth, if you see the light that is shining there on the bricks, on the path, so to speak, you can only see the light when it touches something else. The beam itself is not coherent enough to become visible. Or you have to compress this light into a laser energy. But this is unnatural. Nowhere in nature, nowhere in cosmic principles, you will find compressed light. Light needs to flow. It needs to be everywhere. If you lose the body, if you can let go of this consciousness, this gravity consciousness that you are in, that is pulling yourselves to the earth at all times, you will let go of form. And you will become less coherent. And this is the road that you have taken. For you see, what is happening when you work with magnetics is first you compress yourselves together. You take all that you are and you put it together, you blend it together, you shape it together into one thing, which is you. And then you walk around the earth pretending that you are just this thing, that you are just this body. And of course this separation will create disease. Of course this separation will create aging. Of course it will create death, eventually. When Lemuria ended, Imzaia, when Lemuria vanished from the face of the earth, it didn't go down. There were waves, yes, but this was just the ground that was shifting. The Lemurian energy itself did not go down. It just decompressed itself. It just became coherent in a way that has nothing to do with energy. It has nothing to do with matter. That has nothing to do with consciousness. It just became all that it was and took up all space and all time at once. And as such, in doing that, it discontinued time and space for itself. This is who we are. And this is where we have always been. A long, long time ago, when this messenger was still channeling that which was called the family of light, a group of angelic energy with Michael, Gabriel and Raphael on top. And they like to be on top. When this was still taking place, we have once spoken of the universe. And we have spoken about the way the universe really works, at least from the point of view and the perspective of this planet Earth. We have told you that if you were to travel to distant galaxies, if you were to travel to different star clusters, if you were to travel to Orion, or to Sirius, or to the Pleiadians, you would find no life, no life. At least not the way you find life on this planet. If you travel anywhere in the galaxy, and by anywhere we mean inside of you as well, you can never travel in a straight line. This is the illusion of linearity. Never there be a straight line. This is what the boomerang effect shows. When you throw a boomerang, it will always create an oval shape and return to you. And as such, the same thing takes place on planet Earth if you were to travel further than your solar system. If you were to travel further than the journeys that are now at hand soon, the journeys to Mars and the journeys to all these different places, you would see that if you start leaving the planet, you would create a gigantic curve wherever you're going. Imagine if you're going to the Pleiadians, for instance. You would travel in a gigantic curve, and when you hit that star cluster, you would see there's nothing there but a cosmic portal, cosmic intelligence and cosmic consciousness. This together, blended together, forms a cosmic portal. And your spaceships, like you need these, they would arrive there and they would be pulled into this gravity well. And this will happen at one point in time. And these astronauts, you call them, these astronauts that would travel there, they would think they would indeed, thank you very much, my dear, they would think they would indeed perish. They would think they would indeed die, for they are pulled into a black hole. But all science fiction aside, black holes are just these cosmic portals. What you have done as a group of Imzaia in this country you call Holland, in this city you call Den Helder, is creating a black hole, basically. or at least reactivating it. And that is why your charts and your weather reports showed the typhoon that was present. In the center was a black hole. This was the actual activation of it. And as such, as you are pulled into this black hole, the curve returns you back to Earth. Only as you return to Earth, you would not arrive on this land. You would not arrive on this ground. You would arrive in a different part of the onion that is this planet, this interdimensional onion concept. And you can take away peel after peel after peel after peel, and you would find that these Pleiadian brothers and sisters of yours, they're just living on a different type of peel, on a different layer of this planet Earth. And I know we have talked about this before. I know we and my friends have been telling you this for a very long time already, but now it is time to understand, as we have told you yesterday, that you are Earth. You are the gravity well. You are the black hole. You are the interdimensional portal. You carry all of this within. How else would you be able to activate them? How else would you be able to do all of the things that we have talked about in the last few months, and in other cases, in other messengers in the last few years? The time has come to understand, really understand, who you are. And that you are the galaxy. And that you are the planet. And that you are your brothers and sisters. And there is no separation. Don't take this home with you and stuff it in your heads. We had rather you throw it out in the trash if you stuff it in your heads. There is no more room in your heads for more stuffing. The turkey that is you is quite done now. Time to take it out of the oven and eat it until there is nothing left. And then what remains is the life force for this turkey that would enter your stomach, to continue this strange metaphor, that would enter your stomach, would produce life force. And this is all you are, really. All that you are. If you were to look at the way the universe was created, if you were to look at how things got separated, you would see that there once was this unity. And you know the story, so we're going to be quick. This unity separated itself so it got to know each other, so it could know itself. Two types of unity interacting as one. This being the second unity, being master energy, being the master soul that would spring forth so many different types of energy. The Jeshua ben Yosef energy, the Krishna energy, and all the others. The Kuan Yin energy. And from that soul stemmed forth another one, another unity that wouldn't be the cosmic masters as the ones we have now just mentioned, but these would be human masters. And this is where the energy of those you know as Ketumi, Adam and Shermaine, Tobias, Matthias, Thomas, Peter, so many others, the Magdalene energy, where all of these stemmed forth. And then, and this is what you do not know, then these two types of unity with a third on top re-blended together. And the one responsible for that is all that you call feminine. It is the feminine energy of this planet Earth, the goddess energy of this universe, that made sure that all of these things re-blended. You see? And as it did, the qualities of all of these energies became one. This is what you call the Big Bang of the galaxy. After this, matter was created. Energy was created. Consciousness was created. And so you had time and space. And so the universe became real to you. And so these souls once again split up. These unities once again split up and became all that you know today. We don't need to go into detail here. What is important, however, is that the original energy of planet Earth is Lemurian. That which you have called Lemurian. We know of all the stories, we know of all the things you tend to say. You tend to say that Lemuria is 38,000 years old. First of all, you have been saying this for 10 years, so this is no longer correct. What you are forgetting is that it is 38,000 years ago that Lemuria ended. It isn't 38,000 years ago that it began. That which you have called Lemurian has been around for billions of years. This planet Earth has been around for billions of years. Actually, it has always been here. If you were to look at the way you conceive time and space, at the moment of Big Bang, when the void was present, and all potential was created, the potential for Earth also existed. Meaning that Earth originally exists outside of time and space. And this is where the Lemurian blending will take you back towards. This is the point. To get the planet back outside of time and space. Whoever thought of creating a planet that only had 40,000 kilometers to go around? This is illogical. All planetary systems, in fact, are not based on circular energy. They are based on Lemurian energy, infinite energy. This means that in the days of Lemuria, you could start walking the planet Earth, and you could continue walking forever. You would never get back to where you started. There is no, at least at that point in time, there was no 80 days to travel around the world, or whatever the days are that you need to do it in this era with all your technology and all your supposed empowerment. In Lemuria you could start walking and always walk on. And this is basically what we have done. When we noticed that a time-space frame would be necessary in all its limitations for this Earth to evolve, we have done as we have said before. We have discontinued our coherence so that we could be all that is, so that we could be anywhere. And this is why we have respect for all matter that exists. We aren't just talking about animals or people. We aren't just talking about plants. We aren't talking about insects. We are talking about all living matter. All living matter. The walls around you, the balloons hanging here, the clothes that you are carrying, wearing, these little candles here, the glass that supports the living flowers that you would have respect for, but not for the glass, not for the lights, not for the clothes. And why not? It serves you so well. It is you. So having respect for all that is around you is having respect for you. And the first option of reintegrating all that you are is respecting you. How could you become all that is if you have no full respect for you and as such for all that is? Then you will continue to put yourself in this little box you call body. Right? And this is the truth that we live in Lemuria. We have many different truths in Lemuria. We didn't try to convince each other of our truth, for we knew that the other one, the other person, was just an expression of a different part of all that is us. A different potential us, so to speak. And this is maybe a good way of looking at things. This glass of water here is a different potential of this body right now. That is why it is able for them to interact. That is why the option exists. Cheers. Drink from me. So, all these different truths in Lemuria, we have given you so many of them. We have told you about marriage in Lemuria just recently. We have told you about healing in Lemuria. We have told you about going to school in Lemuria. We have told you about working. We have told you about passion councils. And now, as we are finally able to reintegrate ourselves into you, and vice versa, it becomes possible for you to take these potential ways of life, all of them, and put them inside of your heart, so that you can live these truths again. There is not one here on the planet today who was not part of the Lemurian experiment. Not one. And this is also a case of ego, because so many people tend to think that they are Lemurian. And they place themselves on a pedestal. And they say, you are not Lemurian, you are Atlantean. Or no, you were born in Gaia energy, completely in Gaia energy, at a much later time. You have a young soul, and you have an old soul, and you have a brown soul, and you have a purple soul, and what have you. Think again. You are all the same. You are all part of the same energy. You are all the same energy. Just different potentials of expression, of expressing that energy. Just different potentials of expression. Nothing else. And if you were to see this, maybe you would stop hating, fighting, pushing away, separating. Just different potentials of the same energy. Literally, this means that you could have ended up like her. You could have been that body. You could have been that body. You could have had his thoughts. And he could have had your life, etc., etc., etc. It's just about what potentials you pull into your own gravity consciousness. That's all it is. And so, several months ago, this third wave started, didn't it? This third wave that was all about empowerment, all about action. And you have been listening to this for several months. And as we have said yesterday, the time for action is at hand. You need to do this yourself with your very hands. You need to make the decisions and then act upon them with your very hands that will change your life. If not, you will just continue to sit here and take root in the end. You will just perish. floating on a sea of potential, never realizing anything for you, from you, within you, and outside of you. And this third wave, it started in 4 different nexi. One of the nexus you are sitting on now. The Benelux, Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, and a lot of kilometers removed from that, the gigantic circle that will form the nexus, that will support it. This is what you have been living on, and this is the place and the other places on earth that we have previously talked about. This is the place that this new energy, this Lemurian legacy, could first re-emerge. This is why Belgium and Holland, even though there is still lots of rules and regulations, is so free of mind. Not free of heart, but free of mind. Within the regulations that exist everywhere across the planet, this place is one of the most free. Go to the United States and you will see the difference. Go to other parts of the world and you will see the difference. Re-emerging of Lemurian energy right here. And now, this nexus is reaching its zenith, is reaching its climax. In the last few months of the quickening that we have spoken about earlier, this energy has been building and building and building until it became to some almost unbearable to be here. Others felt great and had never felt better in their lives. Well, these are the ones who are to remain here. These are the ones who are actually the keepers of the nexus, the ones that will support it. But there are others, so many others, thousands of others, living on this nexus and on the other nexi that are feeling the call, that are feeling the calling. All their cells are telling them they need to go. That's why the song was selected. For the Lemurian energy is coming back, and some of these carriers of the energy are called to their original grounds, to their original lands. And again, this isn't just Hawaii, although the world sees Hawaii as the actual center of Lemurian energy, and this is true. But just like Atlantis, Lemuria was a concept. It was a continent with other cities existing on other continents, carrying the same type of energy. And so, those who are called need to leave, need to go to these places. And the only way to achieve this is still following the path of the heart. But where do you think this path will lead to? It will lead to the discontinuation of separation. It will lead to a new way of interacting with each other. Imagine a time where you are not afraid to share your thoughts, all of your thoughts, to share all of your heart, all of your energy. Imagine a time where you would want to do this, and not doing this would be sickening to you, would be so very, there isn't even a word for it that would describe it. Let's just say bad. So very bad that you would immediately return to unity. There is no other way. This is what is happening on the planet today. To some. some that are asked, invited to be slightly quicker in the quickening process than others. Not because there is any type of judgment thing going on, not because there have been choices, but just because these set of potentials that form this specific type of body is better equipped. And now, as this third wave has reached its zenith, has reached its climax, the explosion will begin. And from these different nexi, third wave energy, which is Lemurian energy, floods the world, floods the planet. Again, some are asked to stay in the heart of it. Others are asked to serve the waves of the third wave, and to take this energy to other places. Now, this does not necessarily involve physical travel. To some of you, you will notice that it is your heart energy that will travel the planet by the things that you will create, by the things that you will do, by the things that you will put out there. This is a different way of travel, but it is the same. Traveling isn't about taking your physical body and dumping it somewhere else. It is about spreading your energy, spreading your wings, as some would have said before, and becoming all that is again. Some don't need to travel to be at a specific place. Just remember that. Wherever you are everywhere. Wherever you are everywhere. Enichaya oni, nine inichaya. Lemuria. If you live by these principles, you will see that you will no longer limit yourselves. And still there is so many of you who haven't yet found the Lemurian core, the Lemurian energy. So many. And why? Well, basically because they are afraid of it. Stepping back into this legacy is reclaiming not even your birthright, but your soul right. The right you have as a soul to change whatever it is around you that needs changing. The right you have as a soul to explore that which is you. No one can take this right away from you. No one. And yet in the last years on this planet, this has been the case. This is why the Lemurian shift is taking place sooner than anticipated. But this Lemurian shift will never occur in the head. Never. It will always occur in the heart. Always in the expression of the heart. So please, find ways today, of expressing your hearts. It doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to involve money. It doesn't need to involve travel. It just needs to involve you. You. It doesn't need to involve complex principles, cosmic guidelines. It just needs to be about and from you, from the heart. And then you will find what passion is. And then you will understand what power is. And then you will understand what beauty is, and balance, and unity and harmony. And then you will understand what you are. This is Lemuria, calling its children home. But the Lemurian home isn't to be found anywhere on the planet, although the physical energy still remains in some spots, such as Hawaii, and other places, New Zealand, Nepal, and a couple of others. But the Lemurian home is you being all that is. Find this within yourselves, and you will find the universe inside. And from that point on, it's all about playing. It's all about, at a time which doesn't exist, that can be found in two different sets of heartbeats, or the time it can be found between two heartbeats. This is all the time you will ever need to change your life, to change other lives, to decide things. By now you should have found out that the conscious mind is really bad, or shall we say that the conscious mind sucks at deciding things that are the better part of you, that are the best for you. The conscious mind on this planet Earth has been officially trained by governments to make decisions that are based on the need of the many, not the few or the one. Isn't it time that the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many? But how could this be? Isn't this selfish? No. No, not when it comes from the heart. For what you do for you will have an effect on others, always. Just as long as you don't do it from the head. Because then the effect will not even be found within you. It will just take place around you. It will materialize in clothing or whatever it is you want, any object you desire. A while ago, some of our friends have spoken about the subject of desire instead of the object of desire. Now, this subject of desire is putting the needs of the one before the needs of the few or the many. But you can only do this when you realize that you are the many and that you are the one. So, have you heard the calling yet? Have you already been invited to come home? We invite you. Our grounds are open in the physical realm and in the energy realm, which is the heart. We have patiently waited for you to return to you. We have waited in the rocks, in the stones, in the earth. We have waited in nature, in the trees, in all of these things. We have waited. We have put our energy. Now do you understand why you love hugging trees? Now do you understand why you love hugging rocks? You are hugging us. And as you are hugging us, you are hugging you. And we have loved your hugs. I must admit that cutting us down by the thousands was a bit painful. But we could reblend our energy in the trees that still survive, in the rocks that still survive. We were never worried that there would be no more trees on planet Earth. We knew that if that were the case, if that were actually a threat that could materialize, consciousness would take over. And it has been almost been the case, hasn't it? This is why in the 60s and the 70s the love angels came in en masse. With the first one already arriving in 1947. This messenger had the privilege of doing a session for this very first love angel that came in. Not just so long ago. She who carried the energy of all the others until they were ready to re-emerge, integrate into the planet. So from 1947 onwards, dear ones, this means that consciousness on planet Earth was already taking over. 1947. Already it was known that something needed to be done. And so the love angels came. And so this entire plan began. This plan to carry all of you home again. So beware. For soon you won't just feel us in the trees and in the plants and in the rocks. You will see us emerge. And no, we won't be 2 meters tall. We won't have a light body and be extremely thin. We won't have grey, long eyes. And we won't have an ET finger that will touch your heart. We will just be energy. And you are starting to feel us. Who do you think is sitting next to me here? This man called Tuan. And what do you think he did yesterday as he opened, or at least he invited, the opening of passion within the others? It was the Lemurian inside of him, and it is always the Lemurian inside of him, no matter what the name, that opens up this heart space. And as this heart space opens up, when he was leading the Passion Council, he didn't try to think about it. He didn't do anything technical that would allow for the energy to open up. There weren't 13 steps involved. All he did, and he doesn't even realize it, probably, all he did was understand that he was everything around him, that the air around him is you, that the people around you are you, that the energy around you is you. And as such, you can let the Lemurian energy come outside of you again. Do this, and this will solve all of your problems. So many sessions have been done over the years. Not just by this messenger, but by all messengers. Hundreds of thousands, millions of sessions, all dealing with problems. How can I regulate my money flow? How can I heal myself? How can I find a better way? Let's stick to that one. How can I find a better way? This is the focus of all questions. The basis for all potential questions to exist within a session. No one is ever going to ask, how can I find a worse way? How can I be more miserable? Please tell me. It's always about finding a better way. Well, let it be known once and for all to hear that all you need to do to regulate your money flow, to find love, to whatever, to find a better way, is to go indeed to the heart and let the Lemurian energy go out and never put it back in the box. Never put the lid back on. And the first couple of weeks this is going to be a bit strange because, the first few days you will have this shy Lemurian you that is coming out, that is slowly waking up. And as it is waking up, it starts feeling around. First it will feel inside of you. It will get to know your body. It will get to know your organs. It will get to know your cells. It will even heal those cells that need healing. For you see, Lemurian energy can only exist in original energy. And the new energy we have been talking about, Imzaia, Lemurians. The new energy we have been talking about that we have called undefined is undefined because it is original. You see? When energy first existed, there was no defining it. There was no definition. It was just original. It could take any shape, any form, any potential it wanted. And this is the reversal that is taking place. Energy is going back to its original state, and as such, it is going back to its undefined state. Which means that if Lemurian energy starts pouring forth from the heart, it will wash out all previous form, all previous shapes. And those who are doing this, even though their parameters of their mind had been pretty fucking set, are now letting go. They are finding that all of these things that existed here, and all of the fears that existed here, and all of the limitation that existed here on all levels of existence are unnecessary, and that they can be all that is, all that they want to be. And now, as this new energy has found its way into the body, for some, a new question comes up. How can I find an even better way? How can I find my passion? How can I place myself out into this world? How can I do something? I need to make money. But I want to make money by following my passion. So how can I do that? As you will have noticed, Kutumi is just joining us right now, but we will keep him a bit to the back. So how can I do that? How can I make myself bigger? Well, it's simple. As the Lemurian energy, that is you, has found its way into the body, you now need to find a way to let it go out. And this is where most go wrong. They think that going out is a next step, that you actually have to leave the physical form, the physical flesh. This isn't the way going out was intended. Going out is going in. So find this Lemurian energy in the field around you by seeing the field around you. No, this doesn't mean that some of you will have problems because they can't see energy, or they can't hear anything. It just means that you need to see what is around you. You need to see the bird. You need to listen to the bird. You need to see the tree. You need to listen to the tree. You need to feel the tree. And then your field will become bigger. And so you are finally in this energy of movement, moving consciousness. And this moving consciousness will no longer pull you like gravity consciousness does. It will push you. And as you are being pushed, the last threads of the mind go. At first there will be fear, of course. And there will be pain, of course. And there will be even bigger fear called angst, anxiety. And then even there will be disease. And there may even be death. Or at least some may tell you there will be death. For the diseases you might start carrying all of a sudden. If you go to the doctor, they will tell you you've got a couple of months left. Maybe you do. Maybe the old form does. But this is just a way of the mind keeping you fixed in place. But if you look, as the song indicated, towards the horizon, which is love, the horizon always is about love. Love put into action. Then you will know that the ships that the song was singing about, that these are the ships of your creation. All you need to do for yourselves is stop fixing you in a time and place and seeing every day as moving energy, movement consciousness. And maybe for a while you will still be stuck in place. Maybe for a while you will still do the same things. But if you are in movement energy, oh, by the gods that you are, we can guarantee you, in the end, you will be moved. You will be bigger than you are. You will be outside by being inside. And all the rest will fall into place. So you see, Imzaia, enlightened ones, this hour that we have been talking to you hasn't been about lots of information. It's been about journey's end and journey's beginning. You have arrived at journey's end. The journey of humanity is over. Face it. Deal with it. Move on. You're not moving on. Shall we repeat ourselves? Face it. Deal with it. Move on. We like the hugs. First she brings water, now she brings hugs. It keeps getting better. And if you deal with it, and if you move on, then step back into the Lemurian adventure. Step back into the Akonai. For that is where you are going. That is where we are blending together as one. And now some of you, and especially the ones who have been listening to this at a later point, will probably be pretty disappointed. Because at the beginning of this talk, they will have thought that there will be a ritual, that there will be an exercise now where we will actually blend these energies together, and we will say, go sit and close your eyes and open your heart and do the woo-woo thing and blend the energies again. Yes, feel the energies coming into your heart. Well, what if life is this exercise? What if all life that you have lived today was the exercise of reblending the energies together? The fact that you are listening to these words right now is that you have finished the exercise. That's what it means. That's what it means. And now we are not saying that this is the only channel in the world that you will hear to finish the exercise. Although that would be pretty interesting. That was the messenger, by the way. It just means that there are several points on this earth where information such as this one is coming through. It's coming through here in words. In another place in the world, in Peru, it is coming through a prostitute who, whenever he has sex with his clients, he looks them in the eye. And the clients, they are changed forever. They know that their human adventure is over, even though this was just a sexual interaction. That's his way of channeling. That's his way of handing over the energy. In another place in the world, there's a teacher. She lives in Asia. And she is just a nanny, basically, for these children who are too young to learn anything. But she knows that she is learning them things. She knows that she is teaching them that they are that they are Earth's new beginning. That's what she's teaching them. That's her way of channeling. Or think of the baker living in the United States, in a very small village, who is baking his bread every day, who is never married. He has always been a single child. He's always been alone. He's always stepped right into Daddy's bakery. And now he's baking his own bread, not knowing why he is so alone, why he has never found a mate. And he will soon understand too that all of the love that he feels goes into his bread, goes into the things he makes. And when people eat this bread, their lives are changed. And think of all these thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who are following their passion and they don't even know it, Imzaia. This baker, this teacher, this prostitute, they don't know they're following their passion, and they're doing it anyway, because if you were to talk to them, all of them would say, "Oh, I'm a prostitute, I'm a baker, I'm this, I'm that. But what I really want to do is change people's lives. I really want to touch people in a way that they will never forget." And they're doing it, damn it. And they don't understand. Much in the same way as most of you are doing it. And they don't understand. Pass this on to others. If you have clients come over, if you have people come over, friends come over who complain and nag and whatever it is they do, just tell them that maybe they are in their passion. They just need to open their eyes and see. They just need to see what they're doing. And so many of you never see the effects of what you're doing. You will touch a person's life, and you will go on with your own, and you will not notice how the potentials for that person have changed forever, evermore. Maybe it's time to expand yourselves. Maybe it's time to understand that when you touch this life, you are this life. And you blend. The last thing we want to say today is about blending. We have talked about Lemurian marriage just a few days ago, when this messenger was invited to marry two people together. We have talked about Lemurian marriage, and we have said, and we have told this yesterday as well, we have said that Lemurians didn't marry each other, they married a generation. And as they married, it could start with two people, but their heart energy wasn't aimed at themselves, it was aimed at the outside, because the outside is the inside, you see. So it was about expansion, and expansion evermore. And they would meet a third and a fourth and a fifth, and again they would be married together. And in the end, unity would be created. This was our way. And the generation that is speaking to you now is the generation of Lemurian. And this is the reason why we vanished. The very first generation of Lemurian that found a way to marry each other. all of us together. In the end, when we became one, when our entire race became one, there wasn't one of us who had a problem with each other. Not one. We all loved each other. And we still do. And you find this love today in nature. If you see the way nature exists and is harmonious in its growth, then you see us. Why do you think the world and the planet is returning to its original state, its original energy? Why do you think the seas are lighting up again? It's because we are emerging. We are emerging again in you. And this has always been what the Christ consciousness has been about. The Krishna consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, all of the others. It's always been about bringing out this energy. Years before this messenger started his work, he was in college. And he went to this lecture. And there was a priest, no less. A priest who wanted to talk about his vision on religion. And he said that religion is this crystal, this diamond. And that the different religions of the earth are people sitting around the crystal. And light comes into the crystal. And all of them see the light in a different way, but it is the same crystal. This crystal core is the Lemurian essence that lives inside of you. Your expression is the light, but you are all the same crystal. Let these be Imzaia, Lemurians, Christs. Let these be the last words spoken at the end of the second part of the Universal Manifest. You have come home. Now it is time to expand home to all that is. In the next few weeks, next few months, as this Universal Manifest will continue to expand, we will give you ways, insights, etc., so that you can assist others in realizing this, in healing this separation thing. That's all that ever needs to be healed. Separation, the illusion of separation. Heal this, and there will be no more disease, and there will be no more death, and there will be no more pain. So enjoy the coming days. Know that you are loved in such extremity that you have no comprehension of it yet. Know that our messenger doesn't want to translate this. Know that the journey has always been about finding each other in yourselves. And as such, when you do find yourself, it is time to move on. It is time to show who you are onto this world. For that is the reason why the soul was born into the body. To show who you are. It is a gift to finally find yourself. And as is the Lemurian way, gifts are no possessions. Gifts are there to be shared, in essence. So to those who have found themselves. We salute you. We honor you. And we bid you safe travels. And as the English verb indicates, Godspeed. And so, in unity, truth, and equality, which is love, so it is.